Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com or look for us on Facebook at Voices from the Bench. Greetings and welcome to Voices from the Bench. We are at episode number 88. My name is Elvis.
My name is Barbara. Wow, I like your inflection today. You must have had a good day.
I had a great Thanksgiving with multiple naps, so I'm feeling refreshed and ready for the crazy season that our industry starts. How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was good. I took a nap as well. Ate a bunch, but it was pretty good. Went for a run in the morning and wrapped it up with a nice glass of wine, so it was perfect.
Nice. So, yeah, we all get back to work, and the crazy season has started. I'm excited.
I know. Big time. I actually went in yesterday. We had that Friday off, and I went in and worked from 12 to about 2 just to stay ahead of the game a little bit. But I like going in when I'm by myself. You know, nobody's there, no questions. I can just get it done. So it was nice.
Yeah, we got a couple people coming in the Sunday before the Monday we all get back just so we can get caught up.
Yep.
I am not one of them, by the way, but some people are.
Good for you.
So we are back to the conversations I got while I was at the Whitmix Digital Forum. When we talk to technicians, we usually talk to people that are passionate about either removables or porcelain work, but this time I talked to a gentleman who is passionate about what he can do with 3Shape. Sevan Pulurian from Pacific Dental talks to me about getting into the industry and the presentation he gave at the Whitmix Digital Forum that he called Tips and Tricks of 3Shape.
Nice.
And then we finish up the episode with Chelsey Phillips, who's the digital marketing specialist at Whitmix. She's out of the Colorado branch, but she flew all the way to Kentucky to help put the digital forum together, and she talks to me about all the different digital advertising Whitmix does and gives us some tips for labs. Join us from the Whitmix Digital Forum with Sevan and Chelsey. Is zirconia giving your lab a hard time on your full arch cases?
Yes, for me.
Have you experienced warping or breakage in your sintering oven?
Yes, for me again.
Have you ever had an arch return for adjustment and had to scrap it and start all over?
Yes. So, there's a better way.
Introducing Crystal Ultra Nano Ceramic by Digital Dental, the better alternative for full arch dentistry. A Crystal Ultra arch is 60% lighter than a zirconia arch, is easily adjusted chairside, and can be milled on a 1-to-1 basis with no centering required.
That saves you, 10 to 12 hours right there?
Not only is a Crystal Ultra arch better dentistry for patients, it's better for your lab as well. To learn more about the future of full arch dentistry, visit www.crystalultra.com/voices. Crystal Ultra, feel the difference. Voices from the Bench. The interview. I'm sitting here with, let me see if I can pronounce your name. I'm going to do it horribly wrong.
Sevan
Pulurian?
That's it.
Nice. Sevan.
You call me Sevan.
Seven. Nice. So we're here at the Whitmix Digital Forum.
Definitely.
So you were here talking about tricks for 3Shape, which is a little bit harder to say than one would think. But I saw you're doing your presentation. You had a picture of your lab, and it had a really cool kind of open, kind of circular floor plan.
Yeah.
So what's the name of your lab?
The lab is actually called Pacific Dental, and clarify, it's not my lab.
Okay.
I've just been there 18 years.
I get it. I don't own the lab I work at. So.
Yeah.
So how did you end up in this business?
I was working on cars and stuff.
Yeah.
For majority of my life, and then probably about 5-6 years or so, and I decided I needed more money, and I was working at a temp office, doing a temp job, and my uncle said, "Hey, so I got somebody who wants to know somebody good with their hands." He's like, "You want to go look?" I said, "Sure." lunch break, hopped in, looked at the model room for about 25 minutes. He's like, "You like doing stuff?" I'm like, "Looks like it's fun."
Yeah.
And then, I exposed all my skills. I'm good at fixing this and that and building stuff and, repairing stuff. And he quickly noticed my keen sense to technology and everything else. And
Sure.
after that, it's, just model room to scanning, ordering, and doing whatnot. And time flies. And next thing I know, I'm over here stuck in the middle of a digital, just living it up.
So you're a car mechanic.
Yeah, I started off doing car stereos at age 18. Did that for about 4 years. Then left there and started working on cars, like import cars, doing exhaust, lowering suspension, turbochargers. And then from there, I was temporarily kind of just floating around.
Yeah.
And then 2001, November 1st.
So you walk into a dental lab. Your uncle. Is your uncle at the lab?
No, my uncle, son, and daughter, or my cousins,
Yeah.
went to school with my boss's kids.
Okay.
So they
That's
were
how they
going out
do.
and dinner, and then at dinner he was like, anybody who's good with their hands?
Yeah.
That was looking for a job, and he goes, I got the right person. And then he called
So
me
what
and
did you
said,
think
hey.
when you first walked into a dental lab? Did you have any idea what it was?
I had no idea,
Yeah,
man. I
neither
walked
did
in and
I.
it was just people sitting there, wee, 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 psh, 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 and, phone ringing, and
Yeah.
I go to the model room, and there's that shaggy dog odor in the model room.
Yeah.
It's like a dog walked
haze.
in here and just like shook off after he jumped in the pool, and it's like, all right, well, I'm looking at it. The place needed some sprucing, but
Yeah.
worked there and started doing my thing, and
So did you start in the model room?
yeah, I started in the
Yep.
model room. No, never worked the life or any
Yep.
dental terms or anything, and I started there and started learning that and started actually improving the workflow from the previous guy. And he's like, all right, we need to do soft tissue models for like crown and bridge.
Yeah.
So I figured out a way to use, like an acrylic base or something, soft tissue, and create a soft tissue model on the impression, pour it up, and now they got that soft tissue on the solid. And I've done that and
Nice.
refined some more stuff. And he's like, oh, I definitely like it the way it's going. And then I passed that knowledge I did to the next guy. And
Where'd you go from there?
I was doing model work, ordering, fixing equipment, and doing Nobel 2D in 2002.
Okay, yeah.
So that was my first introduction to CAD.
Yeah.
And that was where he really saw me start to excel. And from there, I started weaning out of the model room. Then I was doing basically everything else, ordering, repair, and CAD.
Sure.
Nobel 3D with the Forte, around 2003, 4, 2006, Sirac Lab, and worked that gig until about 2011, and I decided to leave. Needed more money.
So this is a different lab.
No, same lab.
Okay.
I left. I left. I says, you know what?
Okay.
I got to do what I got to do, and I left, and I went to a lab with 3Shape, and within 1 week, I was up and running on my own, designing, again, with the aid of the owner, helping me on the full crowns, copings, and everything were straight out of the bat. At the same time, learning 3Shape, I had to learn some 3D on a Roland DWX50 and an IMES iCore 340i. So I have no idea what I'm doing, like, at this new place. Total CAD CAM solution.
So this lab that you went to, they didn't have any CAD?
Well,
you went there?
we had CAD, and the machines broke, and he didn't want to repair them. So we just kind of like outsourced to Nobel and Stan Ocon at the time. And I left in January 1st, 2012. It was my first day at the other job. And for about a year and 3 months, 14-hour days, piecework, just doing the grind.
Piecework, yeah.
I mean, nothing but elbow grease the whole 14 hours. And you get burned out.
Sure.
And after that, we just he kind of hit me back up. He says, hey, I want to sit down and have lunch with you. So he went out, sat down for about 2 hours at a restaurant. We talked. And he says, all right, let me get a game plan together, and I'll get back to you. I guess immediately he went back, called up Biomet 3i at the time and said, hey, I want a 3Shape. They got a 3Shape. His son was over there doing it. 2013, he said, all right, let's sit down and talk again. And we talked, and he says, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. So I left, made more money, and then I got countered
With more money.
with my old job, wanted me back because he knew what the potential I had, and he said, "I want you back.
Nice.
This is what I offer you, and I'm gonna stick to it." And I went back, and a little rocky start, And I advised him about what we should do, and from there on, it's all downhill from there, man. Just doing research on material, and the Dental Lab network at the time was a really good popping place, and
Yep.
learned a lot from there from a couple mentors that I look up to right now. Just absorbed it like a sponge, because I was eager to learn, and I just let my mind just open up, and everything just started coming in.
Yeah.
And with the research online and the internet, Google, just searching stuff, going to the Dental Lab shows, and one thing led to another, and then mid 2014, 15 is when I found the Facebook group, and from there it was like
Facebook's amazing.
It's like it just opened up Pandora's box right there,
Yeah.
because that I started learning really good with people that were more advanced than me, and I just read it once and it would just stick in my head. I have no explanation on how. It's just how it works, and next thing I know, I'm just picking up one thing, and people are asking, and I'm replying, and next thing I know, I find myself climbing up in the ranks with all these other people, and
They're now looking at you for answers.
eventually surpassing a few of them, and all within a short period of time.
Nice.
So it's just the way my mind works. It's constantly, there's the gears turning in there constantly.
So what are you doing at Pacific now? Are you a manager of the area, or are you a technician that's banging out just CAD after CAD? Or?
At the beginning, it was just me running the scanning department, and shortly after he got a mill, so we were doing the CAD CAM. It was just me, and it was about 30 units a day or so, and a little bit more.
With just you?
With just me, and then we started picking up,
busy.
and more, and this time I was only doing that. I wasn't doing the model room. I wasn't doing repairs. I wasn't doing deliveries, so I could focus on one thing, and that's what really helped out. And we got busy. We brought on one more guy to help me on the design, and that was a really good time. We're lunchtime. We got half the work done. The mills are loaded up. We just go out and rock a nice quick mountain bike ride, come back, and then
Finish
mill's
up.
still running.
Yeah.
So you want to finish up the design, color them, and go home. That was a really good time. And then we got busier and busier, and next thing you know, I got somebody coming in scanning while I'm doing the design, and I got another guy designing while I'm milling and coloring. Then we got one more guy to come on board and design. So we had 4 people, and we were like that for a while until I was able to teach them how to run the mills and how to scan. And right now, the only things I design are implants.
Really?
Yeah, I get them, and I really just I just design the implant abutments because I guess they don't understand the design of it and how I want them to go. And
it's interesting to me that some people are really scared and worried about designing the abutment. I don't know why. I mean, to me there's less to even worry about compared to like a full contour, but a lot of people are weary of
in that
it.
aspect. Yes, but then you also have your emergence profile.
Yes,
if
it's
you overdo the tissue pressure, the bottom side of the design, if you make it too concave or convex, the doctor won't seat it.
Yeah.
But then you'll get those doctors that just make it convex.
Yep.
And I'll go ahead, and I had a doctor, she told me, and I nearly fell on the ground. She said, do it that way. I have my implant crowns appointed to a 2-hour seat time. Okay, let's do it. Like, sure.
Yeah.
So she would go in and she would tighten it and let the
Wait,
tissue kind of
you get that
tighten
blanching
it,
and then wait a little bit.
Tighten it and go on, and then
Hopefully
patient.
you've seen other people.
Yeah, hopefully. But that's the only part. But honestly, I'd rather sit there and design 100 abutments all day long.
Yeah.
Because it's 3 to 5 minutes, not even 3 minutes to design an abutment, and I'm designing them and they're uploading.
Yeah.
As I'm designing the next one.
Do you guys mill your own abutments or?
No, titanium is the only thing I don't do.
Yeah.
I just send it out. Not every lab should do it.
No.
I would love to, but that's something else now I have to do.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean,
So-
especially with all the FDA regulations
Yeah.
and everything. We happily quote unquote outsource our abutments.
Exactly.
You know, because we like to stay authentic also with the implants.
Absolutely.
So what do you hear talking about? I mean, it's tips and tricks of 3Shape. Is it just things you've observed over time? I couldn't keep up with it, honestly. I don't play with it. You know, I'm not on the actual 3Shape enough.
Yeah.
That you were a little above my head, I'll admit.
So it was basically the same thing I kind of did in Chicago, 2019, just early February. Basically, you know, there's certain ways 3Shape works, and you can actually utilize that for another function that you want to do, but 3Shape's not set up for. So we all know that when you copy and append a design to a model, you get one file. You get your design and your model as one for like a diagnostic wax up. So my friend Mark Dixon said, there's got to be a way that I can put two files in coordinates together, right? And it's sitting right in front of our face this whole time. And this was like a month before Chicago. And he's like, we got to find it. I said, okay. So I figured it out. I'm trying to figure it out. He goes, I got it. Yeah. He goes, you try and figure it out. So my brain's turning 3 times the speed now. And I get back to him in 2 days. I go, I figured it out. He goes, you did? He goes, yeah. He goes, okay. In one word, tell me what you did.
Yeah.
I can't tell you in one word. He's like, absolutely you can. I go, dude, there's no way in one word I can tell you what it is. It's like multiple steps. He goes, okay, I'll tell you in 2 days. You try and figure it out. So the next thing I know, you figure it out yet? I says, no, man, I give up. He says, all right, I'll tell you, but you can't use it in your thing in Chicago. He's like, I said, I promise. After Chicago, it's free game. He goes, okay.
Yeah.
He goes, copy and append.
Copy what?
Copy and append. Scan.
And append.
I said, what do you mean? He goes, think about it. You have your model and you have your design. You put your design on the crown on your model, number 8 and 9, let's say, and when you copy and append it, it puts those two designs and that scan in the same place you left them in the design.
Yeah, I'm following, I think.
Okay, so why can't we just use that with any other file? And I go, you got to show me. So he quickly showed me and I says, that's genius. That is genius. And he says, at the time, even Shemek sworn out, I forget, I can't pronounce his name. This is Sweden.
Yeah.
The Fab Smile.
Yeah.
Mr. Fab Smile. And he says, even he didn't know. He was shocked. And we call him Iron Man. He is. He is Mr. 3Shape.
Yeah.
So he was like, I didn't even know that, guys. Like, that's just amazing.
Crazy.
And then, well, where would you use that? What application? And he says, easy. If you do a bridge and you want to make a carrier and you don't want to have a custom tray to carry your provisionals into the mouth and you want to have a palatal rest carrier, like how they would do on implant conversions and stuff like that, you would design a custom tray with the pallet on the model of the digital wax up or whatever, copy and appended, or your temporary. So you already have that.
Interesting.
And then you would design it and it would touch the model with the parts where the designs are. Now you have 2 files. You have your CAD output from your temporary bridge and you have your CAD output from your carrier.
Yep.
Well, you got to merge them together. And instead of going in the mesh mixer, leaving the 3Shape realm and going into a third-party software, converting files and coming back in, you bring one into an order that you created. It's a generic order for this thing, and you bring it in, you run through the design, you swap the model file with the carrier, you swap the design file, the CAD output file with the temporary design, and when you copy and append it, what does it do? It does exactly what it was told to do. It takes the 2 files and copies and append it. We just changed the files.
Yeah.
We just changed the model and the actual crown design to that model. We changed it to our full arch design and our carrier that was designed on the copy and append of the full arch, and we put those 2 together.
Interesting.
And it's now I have a temporary bridge, hollowed out like a shell with a carrier. Doctor just puts it in, rests on the pallet, cements it. When it dries, they can break it off and cut the palate, or in the mouth.
Yeah.
Go in and cut the supports off, make them nice and small, and that's it. And you're looking at Exocad. Exocad does this in one shot. Well, I can't 3Shape. I tell everybody, listen, Exocad's a different architecture.
Yeah.
They designed it completely open. Like it's a giant world. You can just walk in and do whatever you want. And unfortunately, 3Shape didn't go down that route.
Yeah.
But we can do it. I guess you can call it as a workaround, but it's a tool that already does the job.
Yeah.
And we just figured out how to use it in another application.
So if this other guy discovered it this way, how was your way? Completely complicated?
So my way was to do a regular case, and you would scan the model upper and lower, and then you would design one tooth upper and one tooth lower, and it was kind of totally different. It took like 6 more steps. I forgot how I did it. To tell you the truth, Mark's way was so much easier. But that's basically what we push each other. And Mark, I challenge Mark. He fails, he succeeds. He challenges me, and it's vice versa. And that's how, honestly, we all work, and we actually get better at doing things.
That's cool.
So
absolutely. But
otherwise, I mean, it's the other tricks of you reusing the design from a previous bridge that the doctor liked. How can I get that exact same design over onto the new impression? There's ways of doing that, and basically creating orders to function in a certain way as a converter if you don't have a third-party software that will convert a DCM file to an STL. And it's all within 3Shape. It's all free.
You can do that within 3Shape?
Yeah.
Because I know that is an issue people constantly talk about.
Yeah, it's basically create an order, name it DCM to STL, create an order, tooth number 8, as a single die, like you're going to scan a coping, so no opposing, no neighborhood, and you just go ahead and create the order. Right-click, import scan, import the scan you want to convert. Doesn't have to be a dental scan. I mean, it could be, something, if you have a jig, it's in a DCM format, and you want to convert it to STL because for some reason your manufacturing output from Straumann or something's locked on your dongle. You just take the CAD file, bring it in. As long as it's not encrypted, it should pretty much convert over. And then I just convert it to an STL and send it. Or if you wanted to do a pre-op scan and you want to make an STL of it so you can print it, or send it to somebody else so they can have it, you just bring it in and you can do that, because it doesn't like to export. UDX is the key. So when you export a UDX, it exports the scans and converts them into STL file, the whole case. So if you put any DCM file in there and you export as an UDX order export, and you go to the desktop and you open up the zip file, you'll find preparation scan STL format, and that's the file you have. So your implant alignment can be done in there, your pre-op, because if you try to export a study model in a case, it says, we don't support auxiliary scans or study models. So, okay, well, great, I need the model. And, you can convert them one by one. That's if you don't have the STL export enabled on your dongle from 3Shape. So when you're in a bind and you can't wait till 3Shape gets the memo from your reseller to enable this, you can quickly create a simple order and right then and there. So it's unlocking stuff like that. It's like, what this feature does. Well, where else can I apply this application? Yeah. So that's how my brain works. So always know what makes the gear tick. It's like, it's almost like reverse engineering a watch. Yeah. Like, how does this Swiss movement work? You start taking it apart and you're going to destroy it, but you're going to see that this gear turns this gear, which turns that gear. And it's basically understanding the software, knowing what's happening in the background, knowing when you adjust this, do I need to also adjust that? And stuff like that. So there's no real clean-cut textbook instructions for this, and it's just out there.
I've yet to see a 3Shape manual put out by 3Shape.
There is. There's the manual, and there's the technical manual with I think 18 and 19, they're introducing a technical manual.
Oh, okay.
But that is in a file. I think it's called 3Shape Documents. When you install it, it goes to your desktop. It's a shortcut, and it's a file. You open it, and it's literally an index of terms and what this tool does and what that tool does. So if you're in your design and I think you press F1, it brings up the help tab, and that's basically what this is.
Okay.
So you can actually launch it before, like at night, you can open it up and just start reading it from home. Take the file home and just read it. So there is an appendix manual.
Yeah.
It's but not. It's not like a true textbook manual.
No, it's not.
Where you go. Maybe these guys over at PTC can come up with one.
I think they do a 3Shape training.
Yeah, they have a
program.
training. Yeah, but they don't have a a manual paper, a book.
Yeah,
that would be
interesting.
That would be
interesting. Well, that's awesome stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's still above my head. I got to tell you, I just don't spend all day on 3Shape, but I'm sure a lot of 3Shape people would find this extremely interesting.
You know, it's if I say, Elvis, go ahead and take this photo into Photoshop and create a text layer, create a layer so you can, add a shadow over here, and you won't know what to do. And I'm the same way. I still don't know Photoshop a lot, but every single day I'm on 3Shape every single day other than Friday and Saturday. And sometimes then, I'm tinkering around, but I think it's the everyday exposure for not just 10 minutes, but hours at a time.
Oh yeah.
And, making notes and just repetitiveness, just kind of
questioning it every now and again. Say, hey, I want to do this.
Exactly.
I mean, that's awesome.
My good friend John Wilson, one of the guys I kind of looked up to learning this stuff, he'll text me. He's like, hey, we can do this, right? And he asked me a question. I go, yeah, but you got to do this and that. He goes, but it can be done. I says, yeah, it can be done, but not the logical or ideal way to do it. But
there's not a button.
Or I asked him, he says, hey, is there a radiopaque PMMA trying to make a implant stent? And he goes, yeah, call so-and-so company and order this material. And, we go back and forth. Sure. So anybody asks me, and I'm going to tell them, in digital, you got nothing to hide. I mean, it's all there.
Yeah.
Like if you can do it and it gets out there, you send a picture out there, someone's going to figure out a way to do it. And there's no hiding it in digital. Once it's on the internet, it's on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, good or bad, it's there.
Forever.
Forever.
Well, I appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much for sitting down.
Definitely.
I appreciate you coming to Whitmix, the digital forum, and presenting. I thought it was really neat.
Yeah, this is first time out here, so.
Yeah, me too.
It's
me too.
Exciting, and we'll see. Maybe they come back next year.
Yeah, absolutely. But thanks again.
Thank you, Elvis.
Appreciate it. We are wrapping up 2019 Whitmix's digital forum with a great employee of Whitmix, Chelsey Phillips, who is what's your title there? Marketing?
Digital marketing specialist.
Digital marketing specialist. So what does that mean? All marketing that's done via social media and the internet and all that?
Correct. I do everything digital. I make the digital flyers, the websites, our social media campaigns, our email campaigns.
You also did the website.
Yes, I maintain the website.
Nice. I recently put Voices from the Bench on Twitter. You do that every Monday morning. Happy Monday morning thing.
That would be me.
It's nice.
Yes.
It's nice. I see it Monday morning. I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's not a bad Monday.
Yes.
It works. So how did you get into this? You do this in school?
No, I didn't. I actually have a background in accounting.
Oh, that's boring.
I know.
So you went to school for accounting. You got out of school. How did you fall into Whitmix? Did you even know what it was?
No. I mean, kind of. My mom works for the company. She's our clinical product developer. So she brings the products to the market, and then I go market them.
Oh, so how long has your mom worked there?
8 to 12 years.
8 to 12 years.
Yep.
So you have an idea what the dental laboratory industry field was.
Correct. She worked with Waterpick before Whitmix.
Oh,
so
my gosh, yeah.
I grew up articulators, face bows, the flosser things that shoot water.
Is Waterpick here in Kentucky too, or?
No, Fort Collins.
Oh, is that where you came from?
Whitmix has a Fort Collins division.
Oh, see the connection. The web is weaving here. So then you ended up here in Louisville.
I live in Colorado. I am Whitmix West, part of the Colorado team.
You're not even... They flew you out here just for this?
They did.
Nice.
I know. Well, I worked so hard on the event. I ran the website. I'm right-hand person here at the event
awesome.
doing all our
I didn't even
social
realize
media.
that. Here I am just thinking you're living down the road or something.
Nope. I live in Colorado.
Cool. So, did you have previous digital marketing experience when you went to Whitmix, or did you learn it all while you're at Whitmix?
Learned it all from Whitmix.
Really?
Yep. I started under our senior marketing specialist, who's no longer here, and worked under her for about a year, and then she left, and I took over her position, and it's all been hands-on from there.
So how long ago was this?
She left July of 2018. So
2018.
Yep.
From what you learned from her, how have you grown the digital marketing of Whitmix?
I am working on expanding it. So she laid a really solid foundation for us, created everything, got us up and running, and I'm taking it to the next level. So I'm expanding it, taking it further, and what I mean by that is better direct marketing. I'm working on hitting target audiences and focusing on providing content that is purposeful to them and not necessarily anything that we can think of just to get something in front of them.
And that's what a lot of people do. Oh, it's Tuesday. I got to post something because I do it every Tuesday. And
correct. Yeah.
Excellent.
So I aim to target to things that are going to bring them some benefit. It's all about their focus and what they need.
So Facebook.
Yep.
Instagram.
Yep.
What else? Twitter. I mentioned that.
Yep.
What else is there?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yeah.
We have LinkedIn, and I just about 3 months ago launched our first Pinterest account. So we are now on Pinterest as well.
Fancy.
Yep. I'm looking into Snapchat, but we're not there yet.
Yeah. So here you are. You're marketing to labs and dentists, right? Because you guys have dentists as clients, right?
Correct. We have a whole clinical and occlusion side, correct.
Sure. What are some difficulties you run into doing that B2B marketing?
Hitting the right content at the right time.
Sure.
So providing content that's purposeful to dentists and to labs and dental lab communication and making sure that's tied. Dentists tend to be more direct to consumer, and they're looking for different information, and being able to provide that and how to better communicate with labs and be effective that way, and looking at a product and how a dentist is going to use it versus how a lab is going to use it and whether both are going to use it. It's very difficult to segment, especially social media, when I have both audiences looking at the same content all the time.
So do you place one ad hoping to hit both? Or do you specifically say, this is an ad I'm doing for labs. I want to gear this towards labs. And do you promote that or put that out there in a different way than you would if you're promoting to dentists?
So unfortunately at this time we're not doing social media ads. We're not paying.
Well,
so
yeah,
I only
okay.
do social media posting right now. But when
I
I
get
put
that.
them out, it's going to both. Now, depending on the product, I usually will have one in mind. Some of our new resins and stuff, it can apply to both of them.
Sure.
So I will target both in the same ad. But if it's something that's more clinical, I specifically talk to clinical.
Okay.
And a
makes
big
sense.
issue we run into all the time, too, is we have domestic and international markets.
Oh.
And there's products available internationally that aren't available domestically or vice versa. And so I have to be careful cross-posting and making sure that products are listed as a U.S. only or an international only, or being clear
Because
with...
Facebook is worldwide, right?
You are correct, yes. And a majority of our audience is international.
Really?
Correct, yep.
So when you post something, you specifically have to state U.S. only or not available in the U.S.?
Correct, at times, yes.
Are there other countries that have social media that's relevant in their country but not here? Do you post on that? Like, does Japan have their own version of Facebook called something else, or?
Not totally.
Yeah.
A lot of our international customers use an app called WhatsApp, but that's more for communication, more so than social advertising. But there are not other platforms that I'm aware of. Now, we do use Facebook groups. Or things like that to better segment different countries.
Okay. So as I was mentioning before we hit recording, that at our lab I attempted to Facebook to new dentists, and I had a problem with I would post and I would even pay a few times and gear them towards people that had the hobbies of dentistry and dentists and all this kind of stuff. But I never really got to the dentist. Mm-hmm. What sort of tips can you give to a lab for using social media to market to dentists?
Well, my biggest piece of advice is making sure that your wording is aimed to terminology that they are going to understand and to speak the language that they're going to be speaking.
That makes sense.
So make sure you meet them where they're at and what they're looking for is step one.
Words that the general public might not get, so
potentially
they'll kind of weed out the people that aren't in the field.
Correct.
Interesting.
Potentially. Some of it, too, is just even, dentists and labs sometimes talk differently.
Yep.
So use terminology that the dentist is going to recognize. Meet them where they're at. So use words they're going to use.
Sure.
Use things that are going to catch their interest and not necessarily your lab's if you're aiming directly for a dentist.
Yeah. Say crown, not coping, that kind of thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, things like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm going to give a huge shout out to John Hughes. He's been a huge mentor in my life.
How long has he been with Whitmix?
21 years.
Wow.
He should be over here being interviewed. There's a second set here.
Too funny.
He's great to work for.
Is he? He looks like he's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody at Whitmix seems like they're a lot of fun. I have never been to the Colorado branch, but I got to tour the one here. Yep. I was really just I was happy to see how it was set up and how everybody interacted, and it just it seems like a cool place.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a cool facility. I love coming out. You'll have to come to Colorado one sometime.
So what's next for digital marketing with Whitmix? What's your next step? What's your overall goal? I mean, here you are. A whole company says, make us known on social media. What do you do?
Well, I'm actually doing a couple different things. It's not all social media based right now. Some of the stuff I'm revamping our emails and getting very clear on our target and working with workflows and providing educational content that is relevant to the market and current.
Yep.
So we're revamping all of our content, making it new, improved, and relaunching it. From a social media perspective, we actually just launched Facebook shopping, which is brand new and cool, and I cannot wait until...
So people can buy all their products while they're on Facebook?
Correct. You can buy our products directly from Facebook now.
Heck, I'm on there already.
I know, exactly. Exactly. It's
That's
easy and convenient. And
interesting.
I'm waiting for Instagram to launch and where we can launch on Instagram shopping as well.
Where do you get more, what's the term, action views? Where do you get more of that? Instagram, Facebook? Where does Whitmix get most of their traffic? That's what I'm looking for.
Depends. YouTube is actually our biggest place right now. We have the most followers on YouTube of all of our channels.
Nice.
Interaction-wise, it's mixed. So majority of the interaction happens on Facebook, but our Instagram is growing rapidly, and so we get a lot of shared stories on Instagram.
Yeah. Everyone tells me for the podcast we need to get into Instagram, but
yeah,
that's what they
I've
say
tried
it's all
tagging
about.
you before, and you're just not
Just
there.
not there. No, and it's,
Yeah.
I don't know, it just seems like something else.
Yeah, it is, and I don't know how long we've been at it because it was set up prior to me, but we're down at the bottom. We started with about 300 a year ago, and I'm up to 450 now followers on our Instagram. So it's growing, just not super fast.
No, and you know what? Some of these things take time.
Yep.
It just takes consistency and people to see that you're there.
Correct.
And it will eventually build. And for something that grows real fast, it's not going to be good growth.
Correct.
It's going to be people that just hit it without thinking about it. You want people that actually, I want to learn from these people.
Yep.
I want to have this content delivered to me.
And I look at that as a whole. Even our email marketing campaign, that is a huge piece of it for me, is consent. I will not email you unless you ask to be emailed. It's huge. I respect their privacy. I respect their inbox. I want to respect their time and provide them value.
Can you tell me how many emails you guys send out?
A fair amount.
Like every time you do a blast, what is it, 100,000? I mean, is that much?
Oh, no. We currently have 30,000 emails in our
That's
database.
a ton, though.
Our average email goes to anywhere between 5,000 and 12,000 people at a time.
That's a lot of people, though.
Mm-hmm. Our
Wow.
smaller emails, when we segment better, go to
Yeah.
about 3,000
Yeah,
maybe.
that's still a large audience.
Well, I will say that only maybe 50% open, and we have about a 20% click rate.
So you get all that feedback from whatever email client server you're
Correct.
using. What do you use? MailChimp?
HubSpot.
HubSpot. I hear a lot of good things about HubSpot.
Yes, HubSpot's great. That's
Yeah?
my big project this quarter is taking on HubSpot, revamping our content, creating a better potential resource library for people, better email campaigns, having more information.
Well, talk about that for a second. Let's say a lab wants to get into email marketing.
Mm-hmm.
HubSpot's a good place to start?
I actually love HubSpot. I don't have a whole lot of experience with other providers, but HubSpot's kind of an all-in-one. We have our contacts in there. We can do our emails. I can do social scheduling and publishing directly from HubSpot, our resource library, our content pages. I do a lot of my work. I mean, it just seems all-encompassing.
Sure. Is it expensive or?
I think so.
Yeah. You don't know. Nice. Good answer. Good answer.
That's John's job.
Yeah. Leave it up to them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, awesome. I appreciate it. I will say that this event, this digital forum, was well marketed on social media.
Well, thank you.
This is a great event. You guys put on a heck of an event. I've seen you've been very busy here.
Yep. We actually, one of the things that we have running in the back, if you haven't seen it yet, is our photo stand. It's a service we're providing to people, again, respecting their privacy. But afterwards, if they consent it, I'll put it on social media. It's everybody's chance at fame on our social media accounts. So,
absolutely.
You know, it's all about personal touches, and that's what I like to bring to it. I like to have the uniqueness, make them feel special, and
absolutely
that they're welcomed here.
And it's just a great way of marketing it, pushing it out there. Absolutely. It's all
I
about
brought back Facebook events so that people could share it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I brought that back.
If I can't tag an event this podcast will be at, it's going to go flat.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I brought that back to WITMIX, so
it's what it should be. It's not hard. It's free, isn't it?
It is.
It's so easy. People should be doing this, but they're not, and it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yep. Huge shout out for our digital dentures courses we have coming up. I made all those pages and events as well. So
you got one coming up in
November 7th and 8th.
Yeah, I actually have an employee coming down for this.
Yeah, we have a couple spots open. So
okay. Excellent.
Anybody who's interested, we're going to continue doing them, and they're only going to get bigger and better.
Sure.
So,
you can do them out in Colorado too.
We are looking next year to expand. We're going to maybe not Colorado, but we're looking at. We have a facility in California, and there was somewhere on the East Coast.
You guys have a place in California too?
No.
Oh.
No, a facility.
Oh.
We would take it to a facility.
I see what you mean.
Correct.
I was like, WITMIX is bigger than I thought.
No. We only have 3 offices. We have our office in Fort Collins. We have our office in Kentucky, which is headquarters. And then we have a small group in Germany as well.
Wow.
Yep. We have a couple down there in Germany that are employees.
Have you been to Germany yet?
I have not, but my mom has.
Oh, nice.
So I got to see all the pictures.
Nice. Maybe they'll send you sometime.
Maybe.
Social media in Germany.
I know.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Today's episode is brought to you by Kettenbach. Let's talk about impressions and impression materials. Can we agree that not all incoming records your lab receives are equal in quality or have captured the details you feel necessary to move forward confidently with a fixed, removable, or implant case? NADL studies show that small, medium, and large labs all face the same awful situation of producing remakes at no charge over and over again when it might not be the lab's fault. Kettenbach and their team of manufacturer reps are here to help your lab by offering support and solutions, not chairside milling units, that will improve the incoming clinical results and consistency you and your clients are looking to achieve. Their materials are manufactured in Germany using patented technology, and in America they only sell direct for less costs. Visit www.kettenbach-dental.us to learn more about Panacell, Identium, and Celgenet impression materials, Futar bite registration, Physalis temp material and core buildup, Leukopen Software Line, and Airway Metrics. Kettenbach also offers materials used every day in the dental lab, in particular the Panasil Lab Putty Hard and Lab Putty Soft. These materials can be cleanly and easily dispensed in a 1-to-1 putty matrix. There are no messy accelerator gels with this system. The Panasil Lab Putty is sold in 2 5-kilogram buckets of base and catalyst and is definitely the dimensional, stable lab putty material you have been looking for. Try any of the materials risk-free today by calling Kettenbach direct at 877-532-2123. Mention the code Dental Lab Podcast 25 and you will receive an additional 25% off your order. Once again, call Kettenbach direct at 877-532-2123 to make the connection with a partner who can help your lab and your clients save money and increase quality coming in and going out. Thanks for your support, Kettenbach.
A huge thanks to Sevan and Chelsey for sitting down with my partner Elvis at the Digital Forum, and a bigger thanks to Whitmix for inviting us to the event. And Elvis had a lot of really great recordings. Hopefully I'll be there next year. When they do this event next year, everyone should do themselves a favor and register. We will be sure to keep you updated on our podcast as we always do. This year, it was sold out, and I'm sure next year will be as well. So again, thank you for your support of the podcast, Whitmix. We appreciate it.
So at the end of every year, there's an online poll for the best dental-related podcast. Believe it or not, there are 75 podcasts on this list.
Dun, dun, dun.
There is only one that is exclusively geared towards the best profession in all of dentistry. So please head over to dentalpodcast.org and click the vote button.
Seriously, go to dentalpodcast.org and take a look at them. They're all dentist related. Some are industry related. And then there's Voices from the Bench at the very bottom. You have to pick 4. And I think they choose from the 4. So pick us. We'd appreciate it. I've only voted about 10 times, maybe 20.
I did ask. You do not have to vote for 4.
Oh,
you
good.
Can vote
okay,
up
cool.
to 4. Yeah. So
Okay.
Really, all you got to do is click vote, scroll down to the V's, Voices from the Bench, click on us, and then there you go.
Awesome.
And actually, if you could, have every computer in your lab go and vote. You got all those design stations, you got all those computers connected to the mills and the printers and your scheduling computers and your accounting and your shipping computers.
Yeah, we don't want to
the
win or
computers,
anything.
You get shades. You get the idea. And then when you're done doing that, have every technician vote on their smartphone.
All right.
There's no reward. We get no bonus check. We just get bragging rights in the world of dental podcast. Because this January, right after Visions 21, is the Voices of Dentistry.
Yay.
Yeah, a dental podcasting summit. And Barb and I would love to go to this event and let all those dentist-related podcasts know that the dental lab industry is strong and relevant.
Well, yeah.
As always, we got you covered because the link to vote is in this episode show notes. It's the very first thing in the show notes, so it's easy to find. And then email the link to everybody in the industry you know and tell them to vote for Voices from the Bench. Do you think we came across a little too strong?
I don't know. We're very competitive, so what is too strong in my world? Let's just go for it.
You don't know until you ask.
Yep.
And we're asking everybody, so please, go vote.
So next week, we start some conversations that finally I get back to at the LMT Lab Day East in Philadelphia. That was a great show. Elvis and I got a lot of really great interviews, so remember to join us.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Have a good one.
And have a great week, everybody. Welcome to Christmas Crazy.
Bye.
Bye.
Go to every computer in your lab and vote.